Well, Sarah joins us now, and she's calling us from Ohio to talk about her book on pregnancy, A Catholic Mother's Companion, Walking with Mary from Conception to Baptism. And it begins at conception and includes a 40-week walk through each week of pregnancy. It provides a uniquely Catholic perspective on pregnancy. Sarah, thanks so much for being with us today. How are you doing?
I am doing great now that we have a connection and you don't sound like you're speaking Klingon underwater.
See, what people don't know is we're going to do a Skype interview, but it just wasn't working, even though I think the underwater effect would have been kind of cool. But I guess for today, we'll stay away from that. Hey, what made you decide to write such a personal and practical book, Sarah?
Do you want the honest answer?
I do.
I'm assuming you do. So here's what happened. I hate being pregnant, and I know that there's some near heresy in saying that in Catholic circles, so just start throwing tomatoes at me now. I would not have come up with this idea on my own, but an editor at Ave Maria Press came up to me and mentioned it. And so I wrote her back and said, that book idea sounds awesome. I can't wait to read it. Here's a list of people in order of priority who you should contact to write that book. And, you know, she wrote me back and said, no, you're the person. We really want you to do it. And anyway, we went back and forth in this way for a while. It wasn't my idea. In fact, I had to kind of come to terms with the fact that I was going to write about pregnancy. It's, in my world anyway, as I mentioned, I don't like being pregnant. Love the babies, love what it stands for, but the physical experience maybe not so much. So there was sort of a preparation maybe in writing about it, and even as going through the writing process.
Hey, Sarah, you know, obviously I have very little experience in this area. Don't have a family, don't have children. Love kids, though, but I'm certain that, that many women have a similar experience to you, kind of a love-hate sort of surprise relationship with pregnancy. How is this book going to encourage people to understand the beauty and the honor and the challenge of pregnancy and help them through it?
I think the most important way it does that is by turning to our beautiful Catholic tradition and turning to the woman who's been there and done that times 10, and that would be the Blessed Mother. Wow. I have to distance myself so often from that statue in the church that feels so inaccessible to me because her hair looks perfect and she has no dirt on her apron, and she's not even wearing an apron, and Jesus is not wiggling. And I have it on good authority that Jesus probably wiggled because he was male. So, I mean, so often we look at those statues and we think, dude, what does she know about me as a woman, much less a woman in the here and now? So my way of helping women to get through pregnancy and to, I guess, embrace our Catholicism throughout pregnancy is to turn to the Blessed Mother. And throughout the book, we do that using mysteries of the Rosary each week, which is why that's mentioned, Walking with Mary. It's very much, instead of looking at her on a distant pedestal in the front of the church or, you know, in your living room, she's beside you, and maybe she's carrying you. I'm pretty sure she carried me a couple of times, or I just piggybacked on her, like, just hold still, Mary, I'll just jump on. You go. So, and using a lot of the Catholic traditions. There's a section in the book. You mentioned the 40 weeks of pregnancy, but there's also a section on labor and delivery, and then that sort of what I've heard people call the 10th month of pregnancy right after the baby's born, and you have that sort of glowing now what moment, no matter which kid it is. And turning to our Catholic traditions and the Blessed Mother and using that maybe love-hate relationship, which we have in so many different areas of our lives. I mean, who doesn't love-hate taxes, right? Or, well, okay, maybe that's not a love-hate, but there are lots of things in life that we love and hate. And, I mean, the Rosary is one for me. I love it and I hate it because I'm lazy in many ways. So it's turning to that tradition. I don't know. Did I even answer that question?
Yeah, you did. You answered it very well.
I hope I did.
Sarah, you know, a lot of times for people, when they do something like this, when they write a book, and especially as you talk about your struggles of not enjoying being pregnant, we reflect on things. When you were writing the book, what were you reflecting on? Was it just all of your experience, or did it help you understand yourself better?
I do think it did, and that was something that I was really surprised about because I laugh now, like I don't like being pregnant. and I don't necessarily long to be pregnant. I laugh to myself that someday I'll long to be pregnant and it won't be possible anymore, and then I'll, look back and go, I was such a stupid idiot when I could be pregnant. But yeah, it definitely made me reflect on the miracle that happens. I mean, it's so common to say, like, there's a miracle when you're pregnant and you feel the kid inside you kicking on your bladder and changing your sleep patterns, and all sorts of things happen throughout pregnancy that are uncomfortable and neat and wonderful. And so often I walk around, too, feeling guilty about not just loving it completely. And I think it's okay. I'm not sure if Jesus hung on the cross and loved the hanging on the cross. And I don't know. I mean, I'm sort of crossing beyond my own expertise here, but as I think about that, did Mary love standing at the foot of the cross? Well, maybe not in the sense that I love eating chocolate or drinking coffee. So how can I use that, what I'm going to call hatred, how can I use that to let me grow closer to Christ? And I think writing this book, I really got a sense of how what I call being lazy or being a complainer really can be an opportunity for me to grow closer to Christ through Mary often. And the writing process did help me with that.
And they call you the snoring scholar. Where can people learn more about your snoring scholarly work, Sarah, and buy the book?
You can, I tell everybody, go to your local Catholic bookstore and buy the book, because they are the people on the streets doing the work, and you can always go to Ave Maria Press or any of those other online outlets, too, to buy the book. And I am online at snoringscholar.com.
Well, Sarah, thank you so much for joining us today and for writing this book, and best of luck with 3 children, right?
Yes,
Thank
you.
With all 3 of your children. And once again, keep up the good work.
Thank you. God bless.
And
Have a
Merry
great day.
Christmas.
Merry
Thank
Christmas.
you. Happy Advent.
Okay, bye.